Now let's go over a thesis. All right. Okay. So over the last few months, guys, like over the last year, I've been meaning to figure out like how can I synthesize everything that we do on how to grow a company, right? And I think I've kind of like figured it out, right? I've looked at a lot of people who make a lot of money, and I've made a lot of money too, at least, in context to where I'm coming from. And this is how anyone here who's, let's say you want to be a growth creator. Let's say and by the way, growth creator can be someone who's, maybe you're a coach and you just help people start coaching businesses, or you help people start agencies. If you want to be a real, like someone who actually changed people's lives, you can't just tell people, hey, here's how you become this. You also got to figure out a way to help them get clients and get attention and make money, right? But this is the protocol that we're using for every single client, even for our own business. First things first is how much attention you're getting per day, okay? And then, contrary to what most people do, once they get attention, once they get leads, this is what they try to do. They try to jump to this last step. They're trying to monetize. They're trying to convert. We don't want to do this. Because why? Because this is for short-sighted people, like people who can only think for tomorrow, people who want to drink wine tonight, someone like me. But we don't want to think short-term. This is like what is it again? You teach someone to fish, or you fish. This is like fishing for someone, right? You give someone a fish, is this. You're just getting them the attention, and then you're making money. You're only giving people a fish. What you need to do is forget about this, okay? When you do get the attention, figure out a way to own it. Once you own the attention, and by owning attention, I mean you own the data. Once you own the data, then you educate the people. Why? Because you own the attention. Just like Facebook owns our attention, or Meta, just like YouTube owns our views, our attention, we also want to become almost like an atomized version of Google and Facebook and all these billion-trillion-dollar companies. Once we educate the attention, then we convert. Okay? Never go from here to here ever again. Okay? Now, let me walk you through real quick, and then I'll be back on this. I'll kind of like be jumping from thing to thing. So attention, how many impressions and leads are you getting daily, right? A founder needs a process or a mechanism generating them attention from, like, guys, I don't care if you're in India with $2 a day of like that you allocate, spend that $2 and get 300. Like, figure out a way to, maybe, I don't know what you should do, but you need 300 to 1,000 plus impressions and views and anything related. You need 1,000 people every day to know about you if you really want to make money in this world. In this world where everyone's attention is someone captivated by someone else, you need to be taking someone's attention. Okay? So if you guys look at, I'll kind of like take this. This is like for October to December last year. On YouTube, I had like 124,000 views, right? So every single day, I'm probably getting like, I was getting, like 1,000, 2,000 views. And then later that month, we started getting like 6,000, 7,000, 5,000. I think I was maybe spending like $50 a day on YouTube, right? And then on Facebook, in that same time period, I think I spent $9,000 and I got 120,000 impressions, or no, reach, not impressions. I think impressions was a little more. And 250,000 people. Now, this is more or less. This is not necessarily exactly 120,000 people. This is views, so it's maybe less. But getting 250,000 impressions made me $1.4 million in 90 days. Okay. Stripe, we collected 1.5, and the rest was Bitcoin, crypto, and PayPal, right? Now, what this means is, if you're running a business, okay, or you help your clients get attention, you need to be getting people's attention every single day. Every single day. You could do it through DMs. That's why I highly put every client who comes in, hey, you need a setter in your company as soon as possible, Because let's say you don't have money for ads, cool, pay people so they can get you the attention you want. Or if you're in a position where you have a little following, you can use things like, attention generating sales assets, where you make a two-step, you give people what they want, and then you get, this amount of leads. Like I think I made this on Twitter and we got 300,000 views, impressions, and we got 1,700 leads. Do you know how much it would cost me to get 1,700 people to opt in on a Facebook ad? Probably like 40 grand. But what did this cost me? It just cost me, 5 minutes to write this in my bedroom in Cape Town. And there you go, right? So there are these platforms like Twitter where the reach, the virality is super, super like easy to get, right? This is something we're kind of like helping a lot of our clients do. But so you need to be solving this. You can solve it a few ways. You can either get setters, you can get paid ads running, or you can do this just organic stuff, content, okay? You need a no-brainer offer because this is kind of like, you need to be giving people what they want. You can't just be like, hey, I want to help you grow your company. Nobody's going to actually respond to that. You need something that they can't say no to, okay? Now, step 2 is what? Collect data, right? And here I have a pretty cool lesson to share. I've shared it before, but I always want to kind of like share it every time because this is super important. Yesterday, I told you guys, I was listening to this talk from this guy who was doing a talk at Google, and he was looking at companies, like tech companies, like social media platforms. And he was like, hey, how are these companies not profitable, but they're still getting cash from investors? This is why, because these companies do not care about profitability. It's not like a restaurant. It's not like a restaurant where, a restaurant business is every person who comes in, that person is maybe going to spend, 40 bucks on dinner, right? And this business needs to figure out a way to spend less than 40 bucks. So they need to figure out a way to get their cost to acquire a client under 10 bucks, marketing, people like flyers and things like that, right? But a social media business does not really give a fuck about, sorry for my language, but it does not really care about how much it costs to get to get a purchase. Like they're not monetizing the same old way that someone else does it. What they do is they only care about the users. How many users do we have on our platform? The reason why they care about users is because this user can be sold to someone else 1 billion times over, and they never run out of people to sell that attention to, right? If we look at Alphabet, which is Google, it's worth $1.5 trillion. Why? Because they own everyone. Literally, everyone's attention goes back to them. They have everyone as a user. They have billions and billions. Same thing for Facebook, for Meta. It's worth almost $1 trillion. And guess what? They also own users, like 2 billion or something. And let's look at some of the guys that we all look at. What is the trend here? This guy has 2 million subscribers on YouTube. Like, Iman is not necessarily sitting here on a webinar going for 2 hours, 3 hours, but he's still making more money than me. Why? Because he's playing this game a bit better than I am. This acquiring users as faster than anybody else in this agency space, right? Let's look at Jake Paul. He just bought a $16 million property in Puerto Rico. How is it possible for a guy who went from playing on Nickelodeon, I don't even know if it did, I never watched it, but let's just use that as a channel, to being, in his 20s, buying a $16 million property in Puerto Rico, and he's not even the best boxer. There's a boxer somewhere in the jungle who can box the shit out of him, but who can't even buy Chick-fil-A, right? I went to the States. I didn't get Chick-fil-A. This is for Casey, if he's listening to this. Casey, are you focusing? But anyway, I think Casey's away. But guys, this is one thing I want you guys to understand. The key secret is not just can you spend $1 to acquire a client. It's can you spend $1? Can you spend time? Can you spend everything you own to acquire users or followers? Because guys, you're gonna be so blessed once you have people who follow you. Okay. This is something that Hormozy understood. He looked at people like Kylie Jenner. He looked at Kim Kardashian, and he was like, man, I'm out here grinding, hustling with gym launch, and I'm only making $1 million a week. When there is this 21-year-old lady, Kylie Jenner, who's worth $1 billion. He couldn't understand this. I think that's when he took this picture. This one on the right, he took it when he got pissed. He understood that, like, oh my God, I'm playing the game wrong. I should stop just being a direct response marketer. I should figure out to play the right game, right? I'm sure that, you know what's funny? I'm sure that this guy here is probably cashing in more money than he was when they were running gym launch. And how much does Jake Paul know about running a company? Probably not much. And this is the thing that I want you guys to understand. When you have users, it doesn't matter how smart you are. You could literally be the dumb. You could be a dummy and still make more money. Straight dummy. Like when I say dummy, I mean not even dummy. You could be 8 years old making more money than Hormozy. Right? Cool. Let's get into it. Now, how do we do it for us? I like to use Facebook groups, right? I like to use Facebook groups, in my opinion. They're just easy. Facebook already owns the attention, so it's a lot. There's less friction. But let me try to explain it this way, because then now you guys are going to understand it. Owning attention. I observe the most successful companies and personal brands in the world. The common thing that isn't the fact that they get a lot of attention, it's the fact that they own it and get to use it without needing to pay for it. So this is it. Rich people buy attention and make an ROI. This is, you know, I think marketers, direct response people can be rich, right? If you're a direct response marketer, if you're an advertiser, and okay, cool, bro, you can make a lot of money. You're a beast, right? But you want to be wealthy? Own that attention. What are you doing spending money every time, right? You own the attention that others have, that others will normally pay millions, if not billions for. Look at this. Meta owns attention, sells it, worth 700 billions. Google owns attention, sells it, 1.5 trillion. And this is how they did it. They owned attention by giving the thing for free. They owned attention by giving you the most valuable thing for free. 1.5 trillion. Apple owns attention because if you're on an iPhone, they have your attention. They own you, right? And then they sell their own products. The more products they sell, the more attention they own. So they have an amazing flywheel. Like Apple is one of the greatest companies that you guys can study. Figure out a way to learn Apple, and you might as well become one of one, right? And they're worth $2.9 trillion. That's I think that's what, 3,000 billions? Yeah, that's 3,000 billions. That's crazy. And then look at this. Iman owns attention. How do we do it? He gives his content away for free, right? And then sells a course, monetize it. I think Iman, whenever he does his launches, I think he makes at least 4 mil, at least 2 to 3 mil minimum, right? When Hormozy Hormozy was doing this, he was rich back in the day. He was buying attention. He had figured out a way to get a really good ROI. But now he's like, man, I'm tired of just playing this baby game. You know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to give everything away for free, just like everybody else. So when Hormozy is like, hey, I'm going to give away everything for free, and everybody's trying to copy him. So this is the issue. This is the issue that I hate with marketers. They'll look at Hormozy giving something away for free. And what did I say? They'll just copy what he's doing. They'll be like, oh, I'm the biggest person. Here is everything you get for free. Everybody now is giving shit away for free, right? Like there's a trend. Like if someone is not giving away something for free, it's like they feel like they're not part of the crew, right? But do most people actually understand why it is important to give something away for free? No. The reason why it's crucial to give something away for free is because when you give something away for free, you reduce the friction to experiencing your product and service. What ends up happening is people pay attention to your service much easier than they would if you had put a price in front of it. So now you're sacrificing short-term capital, short-term gain for owning more attention. So when Hormozy is giving you guys all the value, all the sauce, he's not doing it for free. He's just doing it for the most important outcome, which is, I don't want your money. I want your attention. Why am I doing this, Webby? I don't really care about you guys' money. I just care that you guys are here on this call because it's the most important thing that you guys can give me. Okay? So when you guys are seeing people do things online, don't take it to face value. Understand the underlying reasons why they're doing it. And I promise you, you guys are going to kill it. Okay? So everybody, Kim Kardashian, like I know she's pretty thick, but it's like her thickness gets her attention for free. Right? So this is literally it. Like, she gets our attention for free. Kylie Jenner, every like, guys, have you guys seen how many girls are naked on Instagram? Every girl is naked nowadays. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, we should turn off all these apps. But why? Because they realize that, like, hey, the more attention I get for, like, literally for free, because you don't have to pay anything to get them naked, then they, once they own our attention, then they can go out there. I checked, Googled it. Kim Kardashian is worth $1.2 billion, guys. I'm like, oh my God. So, I mean, for me, sometimes I'm a bit pissed, you know. But anyway, I don't know if I need to get naked online, but it's okay. But that would be like plan C in case this thing doesn't work out. You guys gonna see me naked. But anyway, I'm joking. So the lesson here is getting attention isn't the key secret. Owning it is. Okay. So guys, when you guys get leads on Facebook, don't think that you're a king or a queen. It's what you do once you own it. Nobody cares about how much a lead costs. It's like, is that lead is it owned by you once they actually give you their attention, right? And he's been pretty great. Like when Steve joined the hundreds, literally we sent one email, 4 calls in 10 minutes. Why? Because he already owned an audience. He already owned a list, an email list, right? So, and then in 24 hours later, he had booked 14 sales calls. And all it took was one email that I wrote for him, right? So it's like, it's so easy. It's so easy once you own attention. A founder needs a mechanism of transforming this attention into a known asset. In 2023, not owning data is the fastest way to go out of business, right? The next step is education, right? Educate and sell using leverage, create goodwill and reciprocity. So for us, I'll show you guys the stats. Why is it important to educate before you just convert? 5% of people who buy from us buy without knowing who I am and what the company is. 95% of people who buy after having consumed content. But this is the thing that really triggered me. I realized that cold prospecting generates 1 client for every 5 clients generated by warm outreach. The same amount of hours, the same amount of effort, the same scale, the same volume generates 5 times more on warm than it does on cold, right? Meaning reaching out to cold audience, I mean, I just explained it. So the growth specialist who does cold prospecting generates 20K per month, while for the company, while the growth specialist who does warm prospecting generates 100K per month. So that means that if you are an appointment setting agency, okay, and you can't help your clients build assets online, this is essentially what you're doing for them. You're only making them 20K per month when you could what? Make them 100 grand per month, right? So your value is actually 5 times less. And this is also another stat. Prospects who are warm spends 3 times as much as the cold prospect. So if cold lead, let's say we found them on LinkedIn and we just say, hey, you want to get on a call? We can show you how we can scale your company. This person is maybe going to spend 5K. But the person who's been educated and we showed them how we do it is going to be willing to spend 15 grand. Just a huge, huge difference in LTV, right? The warm prospect also closes 2 to 3 times fast. That's fast. So shorter sales cycle. So you start outreach today, you get someone converted in less than a week, right? I learned this after booking 600 calls in a month, and my decision was no more cold prospecting to book people on calls. Instead, let's focus on prospecting to increase the awareness of our brand. And here's where things get exciting. When I learned about this data, I immediately launched a new initiative where we would use VAs and a process selling VSL to set calls. So instead of just going like, hey, do you want to get on a call? Let's talk. I would say, hey, no, I'll get the VAs to send a bunch of assets to everyone, educate them at scale, and then set calls. And I launched it on the 6th. And this VAL, she sent the same first day, she got 4 people educated and 1 calendar booking link sent. Day 2, VSL 3 sent, 1 appointment booked. Day 2, right? And then this is like a week later, Diona sent 3 VSLs, 2 booking links sent, and then booked a 1 appointment. And at 7:42 a.m. by 2 p.m., right? I put the time here. This prospect has spent 13 grand with us. Do you guys get it? One, oh my God. Guys, like just take a moment and just understand this. 1 outreach, 1 VSL, 7 a.m. booked call. By 2 p.m., you just made 13 grand. Everybody's out here saying, oh, VAs do not work. VAs do not work. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just spent 25, 50 bucks per commission, because this is our commission only VAs, because I don't actually pay them because we're ready to place them in companies. But while they wait to get placed, I was like, hey, let's test this out. I told Reg, who's our VA operations, I'm like, hey, can we just get some VAs to send this video out? And I'll pay them 25 to 50 bucks per booked call. And this VA made me, I mean, the return here is ridiculous, right? Same day close deal. Client never heard of us before, before watching the asset. And this is also another case study just to prove that this works. Alex, founder of Luxury Media, short form content and monetization offer, closed a 16.5K deal with 100 bucks per qualified show. And this is how he did it. 5.5K a month plus 100 qualified show up call deal closed on a 3-month minimum came from the process selling VSL with IG outreach. Literally first call the VA booked, closed. This is twice. I did it. I proved it. I made 13 grand. A client did it same week, yesterday, or 2 days ago. He made 16 grand worth of deal. So now when I tell you guys to educate people before you sell them, I really mean it. I really, really mean it. Okay? For the love of God, if you're not good at creating content that educates people, figure out a way to get better. Okay? Or you can just come and work with us. Well, we got that covered. We're good. All right, cool, guys. So now, do you see? So attention first, own attention, educate attention, and you could do outbound prospecting with education. So I'll show you guys how to do it with outbound. But I'm just right now I'm sharing the thesis. I'm just sharing the thesis. Okay. And then so this is literally how we do it, right? So when I'm doing at scale, I'm just educating people. Hey, here's how we could get you clients. Then I make a little VSL. I think this was 14 minutes. I even put it on YouTube. I think this video got like 3,000 views on YouTube. I think a lot of people loved it. And this is how we end up booking appointments. 33 calls in a day, 29 calls in a day, 45 calls in a day, 56 calls in a day. Do you think you book 56 calls in a day without giving people something up front? It's impossible. And you for sure will never this fast of a closing cycle, of a sales cycle, if you don't have this specific VSL. Okay. And this is what I actually sent him. I said, because guys, when I see results from clients, I get so fired up. It's ridiculous. I sent him a message after seeing the win. I could have just ignored it, like every other people out there who just make stories about the fact that they're the best at client acquisition. For me, I'm really curious. When I see a win from a client, I'm like, hey man, is the process selling VSL working good? And then he's like, hey, haven't had that many calls booked, just 2, but I believe both will be closed. The first call that was booked, I got closed deal. which was the 16K one. The second one, guy showed up asking for some trial. I say we can't do it, and instead offer him some free value. He then messaged me saying, let's get started. So I have a follow-up call tomorrow. I don't know if Alex is on this call, but if you can share your win. And he said, been busy, super busy this past few days. I haven't been able to optimize the campaign for the VAs though. So once I do that, I believe the booking rate should go up. And I asked him, here's the question that I asked him. Would you rather have more calls or have less calls that close immediately? And here's what's his answer. Ha ha ha, less and more closes. So, and then I was like, okay, cool. Then please answer my question again. Answered my question with a perspective in mind. Is the process selling VSL with a VA working well? And here's what he said. Oh, fuck yeah, bro. Right? Because a lot of you guys are sold into this idea that, oh, you need to book 100,000 calls. You do not need 100,000 calls. You only need, in my opinion, anyone who's trying to make 50K, 100K per month, you just need 5 to 10 prospects who have been educated to come to you and give you 10 grand. And it's so much more efficient. It's so efficient, guys. It's ridiculously efficient, right? And this is the beautiful thing of being part of our community, and which is why I was saying this, is not only does our thesis help our clients see results, but it also goes on to helping their own clients. So now Alex is going to be implementing this for his clients in the B2C coaches market, right? The purpose of the VSL is, are you creating beliefs in your prospect's mind and creating more problems and solution awareness? If people come on a call and they don't know what you do, who you are, and what problems you solve, please don't get on a call with that person. You're just wasting your time. And the reason why I'm doing this Webby is because I want you guys, when you guys are ready to work with client acquisition.io, to not come to a call with my closers and be like, so hey guys, what do you guys do? I don't want you asking that question, because that would be a crazy question. This is why I'm spending 3 hours with you guys to explain this thing, okay? A founder needs a leveraged way of creating beliefs and understanding in their prospects at scale before they ever try to get sold anything whatsoever, okay? And in conversion mechanisms, you need, a founder should not be involved in the conversion process of turning attention into money. So if you're on this call and you're running a business, or you're helping your clients, and your clients are still involved, or you're still involved in converting like that attention into money, you still have not yet understand what it is to become a business owner. Okay, you're still confused. Okay, so these are the main 3 things you need. You need people you need people. Everyone here needs people. Like if you're running a company with 2 employees, I mean, I'm sorry, but like who's gonna collect the money for you, right? You need growth specialists and $3 an hour setters. And you also need leverage. You need code, and you can use ads, specifically for targeting ads. And you need media, attention generating sales assets. This is content. Attention converting sales assets. This is content too. You can't rely on just one of them on one form of follow-up or conversion mechanism. You need to use all of them. And I put this warning here because it's super important. This thesis will not only make you rich, but it will make your clients richer, independent of the niche vertical you're in. I don't care if you're in SaaS. I don't care if you help coaches. I don't care if you help agencies. You implement what I just shared with you guys here, like this thesis here. You help someone get attention. You help someone own it. You help someone educate it. You help someone convert it. You're going to make so much money. It's going to be ridiculous. And for me, a growth creator is someone who can generate attention for someone, help someone own it, help someone educate it at scale, and help someone convert it. And I think that this is the new wave of client acquisition companies. Like the old wave was like, hey, start a Facebook ad agency or start a Google, YouTube ad agency. When you hear someone pushing you to start that kind of business, just understand that they're just trying to sell you a pipe dream. Like you're not going to help any business from just getting them attention. You're not. And this is why I don't, like, if you guys will see how we're building client acquisition, is I don't just want to get people appointments or leads. I want to be able to help you guys convert everything. So this is literally the same thesis we implement for every partner, every member of our program, right? So results of implementing this thesis. So Muhiz, I'm going to get him to talk right now. But Muhiz came in, well, he didn't he joined the program after he had made some close the client, right? But before state, when he joined the program, he was making less than $1,000 a month, right? His goal was to make 50K in pounds per month. And I mean, you guys can see here, I was like, hey, what is the number one bottleneck or problem keeping you from achieving your goal? And he said, hey, the number one problem was the lack of direction. I got Iman's course, but outreach section wasn't that great. So I was left stranded on finding people. He also didn't stress enough how important content was, probably because he didn't need content when he started out, but it's super important in this space. I've got content plans, but right now it was a lack of direction, right? And now I believe he's, you can share your results, but I asked him before when I was creating this, I was like, hey, how much money are you making now? He said, hey, we hit 18K consistently. 20K is done because he has follow-up calls on Sunday. And he's just been closing deals after deals, right? But the beautiful thing is he's not just selling short form content, okay? What he's doing is he's helping people implement the thesis that I showed you guys, and he's closing deals after deals after deals for his own clients. So this is a client that he got, helped him get the leads. I think he's doing short form content and monetization with the Facebook group. So using the Facebook group system, Serge shared a couple calls back with a process selling VSL. I've now building for all my clients. So now not only is he using it to help his own business, but he's also using it for his own clients, right? And the same client closed $9,000 in deals, by the way, using the same process, which is VA, process selling VSL, Facebook group monetization, and a webinar. And he's thinking of that he can use this protocol to turn into a 7-figure leverage consultant, targeting everyone, right? So Mahiz, I'll let you kind of like take the lead now, if you want to introduce. But guys, is this helpful? Is this good stuff?
Good.
Yeah, let me know if it's good in the comments, please. Because we're learning shit that can change our lives. Okay.
Let's go. What's good? How's everyone doing?
Good, brother. Good.
So everyone's good. Sun is shining outside. So, Serge, I can't share my screen right now, so it's not letting me.
Hello. Can someone make him?
Yeah, you should be able to now. Try again.
Try. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. All right. Let's jump right in. Let's get started. So I'm going to talk about, so if you guys don't know me, obviously, Serge, give me a little introduction. My name is Mahiz. I'm my own content agency that kind of helps people, get more clients essentially using organic methods. So today I just want to cover what I actually use and what I actually implement for my clients that actually helps them get, better results essentially. So in the first stage, what we do is that once we bring someone on, we'll actually want to understand and improve the offer because, that's like the budget thing. You have to start at the top because that's what people are seeing. So if it's not good, anything I do, even if I can have like 10,000 views, I can have like 10,000 Facebook groups, nothing's going to work if the offer is crap. So understanding that and improving that is like the first step. If someone comes in and don't have an offer like that, it doesn't make any sense. So you have to fix that out. And then obviously after that, once we understand it, what we're going to start doing is we obviously need to get the attention. So that's when the content side of things come in. So you can do stuff like, and it doesn't always have to be just short form. Like there's different ways to generate attention. So you can do like, two-step posts when you have assets. You can do like hand raisers, you can do tweets, you can do reels. Obviously the shorts as well too, they help because they look pretty, they look nice, all that type of stuff. So examples of a couple, attention grabbing assets that we've done for our clients and even for myself is, some clients over here, we did the ebook stuff. For myself, I actually created my own lead magnet, tested it out for myself, and I got tons of engagement from that. Obviously, clients doing shorts, other clients doing their own Facebook stuff, and then even clients as well too doing like breakdowns of the offer when we help them build new stuff. So this client actually made a whole new organic offer. We helped them build it out. So obviously you call those attention generating sales assets. And then what we do is, so the conventional way of what I used to do before is I would actually give people the stuff on email, but then realizing the thing where like, Facebook spend like $1 billion in like research and stuff. They're trying to understand how to keep people on the platform. So why don't I use what they've already leveraged? And what I started doing is instead of giving people the assets on just like sharing it to like email and then they open it and then I don't see them again, I'll actually tell them to, hey, actually join the Facebook group to receive the asset. Let me see who you are. Let me see how I can engage with you. And then once they join the group, from there, obviously, you make a low funnel. It's nothing too complicated. Just asks them to join the group after they fill out some information. And then this is where like the fun stuff comes in. So once they request to join the group, actually, what you can do is you can actually have qualification questions set in a way where it basically allows you to basically pitch them openly. So it basically asks them like, hey, how long have you been in the space for? Are you open to us reaching out to see how you can help you get to where you want to be? And do you want a free asset? Do you want like a free gift? Most of the time people will fill this out. So you'll get a couple of people saying yes. And you can even use this to even segue into conversations to book calls as well too. So you can use this with the inefficiency process that Serge has been using a while ago, where you create some context at the start. And then once you have the context created, then you can, push in and you can book calls from that as well too. So I've had direct close deals literally just from people opting in to request my stuff. And then this is where the fun stuff as well too comes in. So the attention conversion sales actors. So this is where the value comes in. So when you create an offer for someone, you also have to lead someone in a way where they get something, they get to experience you before they even like pay for you essentially. So like creating stuff like, video walkthroughs, creating lead magnets, ebooks, all that type of simple stuff. Like it might not seem like, oh, you're getting money straight away from it because everyone always wants to get the instant gratification, but it helps you out in the long run so much. So what I end up doing for my clients is I just tell them it's mandatory. You have to have an asset to give away for free. So we then use that asset and we get people in there and then we tell them to consume the thing. So they come in, they consume this stuff. And then when they consume it, it also creates a new problem at the end of it to actually help them book a course. So it's like, hey, I've just solved your problem of you not knowing how to do X, Y, Z. But now you have a new problem because you can't do X, Y, Z unless you get my X, Y, Z thing. So would you like to book a call to see how we can get you there? And most of the time people say yes, because, the pain of not solving something is better than like solving it in the first place. So what we do is then we come in, we do the hand raisers, get people interested to work with you. If you don't know what a hand raiser is, it's just basically like a question where you ask people to raise their hand to see if they're interested in working with you. You do this in a very specific way. And if you do this 2-3 times a week, so if you're generating attention, not even 2 times, even a day, to be honest, if you do this daily, there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting 50, 100 people interested in you on a weekly basis, because that's exactly what you need. So it did this for myself and I grew by the first week I did this. I think the first 2 weeks I grew by like 150 members on my Facebook group that was apparently dead. And then obviously you build the sales assets in a different way. Obviously, I'm not going to go exactly how you build those assets because we'll be here for like 6 hours. But like this is the same way that people have been doing it for so long. So you get people in, get their attention, you capture the attention, own the actual audience, get people to experience you in a place that you can easily access them. And then you can do all the appointment sets you want. You can get all the sets as you want. You can get all the people in your group, as many as you want, and you'll be closing deals. And this is the exact same process that my client used that helped him close 9K. All I did was I just created an asset, told people to actually get the asset by joining the group. And then once they joined the group, he just reached out to them and it's like, hey, would you like to experience more of me on a call? They experienced more and then they closed easy 9K in the first week and a half of us actually building the thing for them, which only took us like a week. So, this is like a very simple process and it's a flow as well too. So this always repeats. So the first time you do it, when you close a client and let's say you encounter a problem with a client and you solve that problem, that can then become a new asset. And then you can create a new attention generating asset. So it's a continuously going flywheel that keeps client paying for other clients. Doesn't cost much to set up because you're literally just owning a Facebook group and you maybe have like a setter and it's just organically flowing. So this is what we've been building for clients. This is how we've been monetizing people. And it's been working so well that I'm sad that I didn't realize this when I was like 12 years old. So yeah, hope that was fine. If you have any questions, so yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat and the team will actually be saving them at the end and we're going to do the Q&A real quick. But Muhiz, I want to kind of like ask you real quick, how has this changed your life, at least when it comes to even, we can talk about the money later, but how has it been easier for you to sell on calls when you position yourself as someone who not only just solves for attention, but you also help them own the attention, you also help them educate the attention, you also help them convert it. Like, how has that selling point been for you?
It's been insane. So like this client that I closed where I did the register deal, he actually went through the process selling VSL process and he jumped on the call and I met him like, I think 24 hours ago, my VA reached out to him 24 hours ago. He didn't know who I was. He was like, oh, like, I saw your website, there's no testimonials on there because I forgot to add them. It's like, how can I trust you? And he's like, okay. I told him like, hey, watch the video. It goes over everything. There's case studies in the video. Go watch it. I jump on the call 24 hours later and he's like, I have a feeling I'm going to buy from you, like 2 minutes into the call. So it's like, that was insane to me. It didn't make any sense. It's like, this guy was doubting me 24 hours ago and now he's here to pay me like, 4K, like just like that on the spot. So understanding the process of how people think and obviously creating really good, because you also have to create really good like assets that convert people,
Yeah.
has been insane. And it's been insane for my clients as well too, because like it's just effortlessly where people jump on the calls and it's like they know they want to buy from you. They just want to know what the price is. Like what's the barrier from them working with you? That's literally what it is. So yeah.
And yeah, how fast do you think you're going to be making 100 grand a month? When are you making 100 grand a month, man? Because I'm just tired of saying that you're making 20K a month.
Just give me 2 days, man. Give me 2 days. I got you, bro. We'll get 100K a month tomorrow.
And how old are you? Because I'm not sure if you're still 19 or if you're 20.
I'm still 19, man. Sorry, age only comes every 20.
Okay, cool. Just stay 19 so the case study is better, you know. But no, guys, he's 19. You know, like I'm turning 25 in a month, and I'm like, and Muhiz was broke. Like, when were you broke? I think you were broke like what, last year? What time?
Last year, October. That was probably what it was.
So if someone who can go from being broke in October to making 20K a month at 19 in 6 months, and you had been through courses before, right? It's not like this was the first information you get access to. But as soon as you started working with us and see how, we take care of implementation and see how we go about our own acquisition. Because guys, what's funny is the reason why because before the Webby was about 7 FLC, right? But then I started seeing wins and wins and wins from clients implementing our thesis into other businesses. And I was like, okay, bro, like, okay, I can't just keep helping people and not give them the whole truth. So I was like, you know what? What if we repositioned our whole company to, becoming a growth creator for companies, right? Because Muhiz, in 6 months, like if you can guarantee someone to make 20K a month in 6 months from zero, like they'll pay you a lot of money. So it's a good transformation. It's not necessarily the biggest transformation, but it's pretty good going from zero. So I was like, well, my job as someone whose responsibility is to help people grow is to give them the best chance at growing. And the best chance at growing is to implement everything that we're sharing today for your own business as well as for your clients. Okay. Muhiz is making 20K a month doing it, $250,000 a year. I'm making a lot more, but it's the same thing, right? Let me show you guys another win. Or let me show you guys the thesis. I won't go into too much in depth the organic one because I've already kind of like shared it. But when you're doing it organically, I'll kind of like show you guys real quick. So you have a few ways of doing it. The attention component, which is the green stuff here, you can do it either $3 an hour setters, okay, that you're paying. Let's say you get 2 of them. So when clients come and work with us, we place 2 VAs in their company. So that means that they're paying $15 a day for each to work 5 hours a day. Let's say they send 250 DMs per day. Let's say they get you 15 leads, interested people per day, that you're paying $2 a lead, which is pretty good. If it's a 6% from DM to lead rate. Or you have another process. You can use content. So we also help you kind of like, make sure you become great at communicating through content. Or you can do 2 steps, which, the British guy, Muhiz, said, hand raisers. Why do British people always gotta complicate the thing? Hand raisers. What is, repeat it with your British accent? British.
Hand raisers.
Hand raisers. Okay. I just call them attention generating sales asset, guys. I'm not British. Sometimes when I go to London, I am, but for now I'm not. So as an example, this is a hand raiser. You give people what they want and you get, 1,400 leads commenting once, right? And then this is kind of like the no-brainer positioning of the thing. Then you invite them to the group. Then you send the lead request to join in. Then you accept them to join the group. But before you accept them, you also use a tool that collects the emails. You add them to your email list, and then your growth specialist or your setter does the conversation to try to book them in the first 10 to 30 minutes of them joining. They gain permission. They tag the member on the post that you offered, the value. And then, the growth specialist goes to uncover more inefficiencies in the prospect's business. They share a new way of solving a problem. Then they offer a call. And the person either is interested in the call or they're not, right? If they are, cool, then a call is booked. We're also doing the same thing in the emails, right? And then if they're not interested, that's cool. We're still going to get them with more hand raisers, okay? So we put more AGSAs, they raise their hand, and then we give them attention converting sales asset, or we let the growth specialist do the converting again, right? So attention part, education part, owning attention part, education part, and then conversion, right? But you need these things to be there. You can't just pull this off by just being like, oh, I'm gonna just do paid ads, or I'm gonna just do setters, I'm gonna just do this. No, you kind of like need to be leveraging everything, right? And we kind of like use this. I think I was about to go through this, but we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna just skip this. But this is kind of like how Mohiz would go ahead and actually book some of his clients. He'll start a conversation, do it kind of like one. We have built a specific DM that actually gets people saying yes a lot. Then we send them the VSL. The VSL goes over. You kind of like sell yourself and your company. You share case studies. You share the process of how you go about delivering results. And then you add a soft call to action for a call. And then you follow up until the lead is interested to book a call. If they have a question, you answer them and follow up until a call is confirmed, right? So I won't go into this right now, but yeah. Another case study, Mario Gonzalez, before state, also same thing. And this is where things really got a little special. Manager earning 100K a year, quit job to join our flagship program. He was making, 8K, 9K a month. And he quit his job. Imagine going from, he's also pretty young. I think he's like 21 or 22. He quit a 6-figure job at 20 something to join our program after having gone through courses. And, he recently made this post in our group where he says, hey, today marks 6 months that I quit my 6-figure job to join half of my program. After going through other programs such as agency nav, dropshipping courses, I found myself completely lost. Understanding that I risked it all, burned all ships. I had scaled basic lead gen B2B offers and not gotten anywhere. I got consulting on running short form content offer and scaled to 10.8K per month by end of year last year. So he made 10K a month last year, end of the year. And now he's making 18K in a single week, right? So for me, it's like, whoa, there is something here, right? Got it. First offer, scale it to 10K per month. The new offer, which is kind of like our thesis that he's implementing for his own clients. He's kind of like doing the same thing as us. Now he's doing 18K a week, pacing 72K per month if you times it by 4, right? Doing what? Same thing. Implementing the thesis, right? So this is why I kind of like really wanted to emphasize this and kind of like share it with you guys today. Okay. Join the program, leverage our protocol thesis to help his own business, and now he's implementing it for other businesses, right? Is the organic thing clear? Organic acquisition, any other questions about it? All right, cool, perfect. Now let's go over paid ads. Before I kind of like show you guys the flow, I want to kind of like who is using this successfully. Cole Gordon used this to go from 200K per month to, so actually funny enough, Cole Gordon used this organic acquisition thing. He would send people to a Facebook group, then would set them, and that's what got him to 200K per month. He also says it in his video. And then he decided to go on paid acquisition and use kind of like a funnel that gets people attention, converts them using education VSL, and just sets calls. It took him from $1 million a month to $2.5 million a month to $3.8 million per month. I think that's where they're at. But the second phase of his growth came from paid acquisition, right? Another guy who's doing it really well is Kai Bax. I'm sure you guys have seen all his ads. He's now using a different woman every day for ads. By the way, when you guys see people using women it's because it's starting to get a little tricky to make money, right? And I personally think it's because their offers aren't that good. If you have to change marketing so much, it's because your offer is not that good. Like Amazon does not have to spend all day long trying to sell people. Every day you see someone doing this is because they're like running after profitability, or they're just trying to scale like everything to the moon. But for me, it's like if something is working, you don't necessarily need to use someone else's face, like unless you want that click-through rate to go up, right? And we also use this in December, or the first 3 months. So September 1st to December 31st last year, I spent $9 grand on ads. That's an average of what, like 2.5K a month, right? Or 3K a month. No, like 2.5K a month, because this is over 4 months. And the results was that we ended up generating $1.4 million in 90 days. And we haven't actually launched the paid acquisition material and process in the program, but Casey, who's our CMO, has been helping clients kind of like introduce it themselves. And Cameron launched it in the same day, got his first booking from ads. But this is where things are funny. He started running ads this morning, spent $5, and the cost, and he got his first call for after spending $5, right? Another result is, I think, wait, one second. Yeah, so anyway, this is just feedback from clients in the $500,000 program. I'll get why people be hyping you up. This program has just got to level up. So yeah, so we're now helping our clients implement it. This is a client today. He set up everything that Casey kind of like showed him how to do. And he got 20 leads, $4.64 a pop, and 35% are booking a call. So that means that he's on average getting, so he spent $90, 20 times 4, right? And he got 6 calls. So that means that he's paying what? Like, I don't know how much that is. 90 divided by 6, $15 a lead, $15 per call. How many people here would be happy to pay $16 a call? Everyone, I hope, right? Now, why is paid ads so important? This is where I want to really emphasize, okay? Paid ads is super important because you go from someone who sell their time to experience a result to becoming a capital allocator. The reason why Warren Buffett does not build a business is because he would rather let the money work for him. Why? Because it is more leverage. Leverage is everything. The value of ads compared to doing outbound prospecting, organic marketing, comes from leverage. With outbound, this is what happens. You send a DM, a call, or call people, or email people to get a result. Linear relationship. If you want to get 10 times more, you have to put 10 times more efforts. You have to need 10 times more people, 10 times more tools, or more softwares to get 10 times the results. Now, this creates friction and creates complexity when scaling. Humans are inherently lazy, so they avoid anything that is hard to do, and chaos is hard to manage successfully, regardless of the levels of management you have, right? You don't want to create friction to growth, because if it is hard, so if it is more painful for you to experience success, and this is why I think most people actually don't build a business, is because it is much more, the pain of chasing success is greater than the pleasure of experiencing success. So you trade success for comfort. You want to grow, inevitably make experiencing success or chasing success less painful than the pain of not experiencing the life that you want. But as long as it is hard to go do outreach, to get prospects on a call, to close deals, to manage the people doing this, you're not going to want to do it, right? So that's why for me, I decided like, hey, let me get a new CMO and let's start using ads, right? With ads, it's a lot simpler. You create one ad. That means one video. You spend $500. You maybe get 1 to 5 results because it's non-linear. You could spend $500 and only get 1 call. You could spend $500 and get 50 calls, right? But this is where things get exciting. If you want to scale it, you just have to use the same ad, maybe spend 10 times more money and get 20, 50 times more results, right? But the important thing here is the fact that to experience 10 times more results or 20 times more results, does not actually cost you what? More effort or more time. With ads, you become automatically leveraged since you're using code and capital and media, of course, to scale and experience the life that you want. So in order for an ad to get seen by 10 people, it doesn't cost you more, or it's not more work for you to get it seen by 1 million people. So it's the same energy. But the capital is where, you have to spend more money, but it's not any harder since you can leverage the bank money. Like if you have a credit card, like what are you waiting for to spend on acquisition, right? And a recent commitment of mine to myself is to never do anything that is not leveraged or with asymmetrical returns. Warren Buffett is not working any harder than anyone on this call. Or if you're making, let's say 10K a month with your agency or your consulting business, or 50K or 100K a month, he's not working any harder than you. But why is he generating billions of dollars? So Berkshire Hathaway generated $35 billion in a quarter, right? The reason to that is because he's not playing 10K a month games. He's leveraging his capital to invest in machines, organizations that produce profits at a faster rate and preferably forever, right? So you need to trade energy today, capital today, for something that's going to produce more capital in the future. You can look at ads like buying a machine that produces more while costing you less for what you would normally pay. It's literally the same thesis as investment. When you're investing in a company, you want to buy for less than it actually is worth. When you're buying ads, your goal is, hey, I'm buying attention and I want to convert that attention for more than what the paid the channel of acquisition is charging me for that attention. Okay. Real cost of acquiring clients through outbound is energy and time, which is the most important resource we have. You can't get more energy, or you can't get more time. And so we're trading this. I mean, for a lot of our clients, we build teams for them because we don't want them trading this. But if you're still doing things, managing your outreach, managing your instantly, you're still trading this, and you're not, I'm sorry for saying this, but you're not smart, right? You're trading this thing and trading a little bit of this because you're more afraid to spend money than you're afraid of spending time and energy because you haven't yet understood the importance of time and energy. You don't get more time, right? What is the value of the first two variables? They're infinitely valuable. Like there's no value to your time. If it was the last hour that you're spending today, and let's say your last hour of living on this planet is this hour, how much would that hour be worth? It would be worth every single penny that has ever been created. But people are still spending it. Oh my God. I mean, this is just crazy. So real cost of acquiring clients through ads is a lot less energy and a lot less time and a bit more money. You're trading something that you can always get more of. If you're controlled with money, if you're afraid of money, of spending money, you're not understanding what business is. Business is exchange something that gets you more. And the goal is don't exchange your time and energy, exchange as much money as you can, right? The value comes from saving people time and energy. If we really understand it, if we, reason for first principles, this is the most important thing, right? So why is it the most important thing for our clients, but not for ourselves? You should never care about the financial cost of something as long as it produces higher returns. If you keep the broke mindset of trading your time and energy for money, you're guaranteed to never become wealthy. If you learn to trade money and leverage it to get the people to help you and the machines to do the work for you, you become wealthy inevitably, right? And here's where the unit economics of ads become really exciting. So CAC is cost per acquisition, so cost to acquire a client. cost per qualified booked call, cost per booked call. These are the main metrics that we'll focus on. And I'll kind of like real briefly go through it, right? So if we're looking at an ad funnel, so I'll show you guys right here. If we look at an ad funnel, right? So this is where most people go wrong. Most people, when they do ads, they do this. They just do this. This is all they do. They do an ad to an opt-in or to a lead form, to a VSL, to an application, to a call, right? This is great. This is great. But they don't take into consideration this thing here, our thesis. And this thesis is the difference between you spending 10 grand a month on ads and making 30K to you spending 10 grand on ads and making $1 million a month, right? Or 300 grand a month. This is how we preferably do our ads. We still do the same thing, but when a lead opts in, as soon as they opt in, we do two things. We send them to our email list, and the email list has a 12 email sequence that sends them back to the Facebook group, and then we start playing the organic game as fast as possible. We don't really care about the ads or the funnel. We don't really care about it. What we care is how can we get people playing the game, playing our game on our field, right? Everybody's here is competing with ads, and their cost to advertise is going through the roof because they're not necessarily understanding the importance of owning attention and converting it through education and converting it down the line, right? But this is what is even better. When we get an opt-in, we get a triager, a growth specialist to call the lead in the first 5 to 10 minutes of them opting in. We're not waiting for them to book a call. We call them so we can convert that attention as fast as possible, right? And this lower end of the funnel, the things that most people don't see is what actually makes ads profitable. And this is what Cole Gordon, Kai Bax are doing to make, millions and millions of dollars per year or per month. And our goal is to try to implement this for all the clients, regardless if you're making 20K a month or $250,000 per month, right? But the most important thing with ads is that when you start spending money on ads, you get a fixed cost, or at least it kind of like stays steady to get someone to opt in, right? So you start paying $8 to, let's say, $25. Now, you guys saw that some clients are getting it for $4, others are getting both calls for $5, but that's not like it will regress to the mean. It will regress to the average. But let's say you're spending $8 to $28 for interest. For every single time you spend $8, you get someone interested. And let's say 1 to 3% click-through rate, and let's say it's costing you $30 to $80 for 1,000 people to see your ad, depending on the time of the year, the market segmentation, who you're targeting. And let's say you're spending $8 here, $8 to $20 here, and then you're getting $150 here for someone to actually fill in the application, and you're getting a 70, what? I would say that on the show up rate from here to here is not necessarily the best. I think you can get maybe like 50 to 60%. Casey, what do you think? You're muted. Gilles, could you make him a host too?
Yeah, the industry average is ideally 70%, right? So if you can get a 70% show up rate, you're in the good, you're in the clear. And then if you have a back end sales process on the back end and you dial that in, you can go collate all the remainder of that, which a lot of people neglect. 97% of the market does neglect. So it's how can you systemize the other back end to collect all that? But ideally 70%.
Yeah. So let's say, it goes from $150 to someone booking a call to $250, for the call to actually show up, right? So now the thing is cost per qualified book call. Okay, now this also takes into consideration that all the calls that come in are not necessarily qualified. So you also need to take into consideration that, hey, just because someone booked a call, that does not mean that they're qualified. So the cost of actually getting the right people is higher than the actual cost of booking a call, right? And then what we do is when the setter, the triager calls the lead, the goal is that 50% of every person who opts in will actually take the phone. So you know, and let's say, no, 50% of people who opt in are usually qualified. And let's say the average setter sets 50% of qualified. So that's 25 sets, right? And then live setter to close to short rate. So like from them setting to them showing up is 70%. That means a 7.45 show, qualified show, I guess. And then with a closing rate of 30%, that's 5.25 closed deals, right? I won't go into this, but what it ends up happening is that, hey, if you close 30% of 17 people, I think that's the
Yep.
6 people,
Yeah,
right?
you're right. You're right.
That means that let's say you're spending 2,000, you know, let's say you spend $2,000 on ads, and if we divide it by 6 deals, that's $333 per to acquire each client. And my question to you guys is, how many times would you spend $333 if you knew that each time you spent it, it brought back $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 back? You could spend it every single day. Like I would spend $1 million a day if I could do this, right? Which is what I'm about to start doing, right? Which is why I hired a CMO, because it's time to be leveraged. It's time to stop playing just the organic and outbound thing. I think we've dominated at that. I think it's time to actually level up.